I owe you knowledge. I'm a throat chakra. Need to slow down smoking. But listen, family. All right, so we about to speak on Adam and Eve. I don't want y'all to be feeling like I be gatekeeping and a whole bunch of knowledge and shit like that, family, which I kind of do. But I'm guided to drop it when I'm supposed to drop it. So right now we gonna speak on Adam and Eve and Evelyn. So basically, family, you are the beginning and the end. All right, so let's break this down. Adam and Eve. All right, the true story of Adam and Eve, not the shit that you read about in the Bible as a child growing up and all this shit right there. All right, so for some of you that already know, Adam and Eve was just the breakdown of the divine masculine and divine feminine. All right, so listen. Check me out, family. When Planet Kai was first discovered, it was discovered by Annunaki. We came down here on ships. One on the time as I was saying, that was discovered by Annunaki, which is the beginning, new beginnings. They first found this planet here in the beginning. Like I said, you are the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. So we came down here originally looking for gold, because this planet is rich with gold, and it still is rich with gold. That's why you have gold miners. All right. So basically, they had built a plantation that they called in the Bible the Garden of Eden. It wasn't literally a garden, family. It wasn't literally a big ass tree of life and garden and shit like that. It was a plantation. It was the original plantation where the first human hybrids, male and female, were made. Adam and Evelyn were made. And they were made from every single thing that was living. The trees, the plants, every human, every animal species. That's why you got this right here. That's the frog. That's the frog in you. The shit right here in between your fingers, that's the frog that's in you. We used to have gills too. You were made from everything that is living, everything that was and everything that still is. You were made from that. Let's get into it. So Adam and Eve. So when they spoke on in the Bible that serpent that deceived Eve into getting Adam to eat the apple, that serpent was Enki. All right, which was one of the 13 Annunakis that first came down here on this planet, and he wasn't deceived into eating the apple. This is what really happened. The apple that they were speaking on in the Bible, it wasn't an actual apple, because it wasn't an actual fucking garden. The apple was truth, because the hybrid humans that had been made, once they had been made and forged, DNA and all that shit, we had spoke our life force into the human, and we gave them part of us, and that's how they became hybrid humans. 3:44 on the clock as I'm saying that. That's how they became hybrid humans. All right, so basically, it's like Enki felt bad for the humans because Enki always had a heart for humanity and creation, and Leo didn't, which was his twin brother. His twin brother didn't give a damn about the humans. We made the humans for what, 4:11 o'clock as I'm saying this. No, we made the humans to be fucking gold miners and do what the fuck we wanted to do, as to be servants. Originally we're servants. And basically, Enki felt bad because he was messing with Evelyn. He was messing with Eve. And that's why the other son, the evil son, came from Evelyn. I'm not gonna get too deep into that, where the son was never actually evil. He became evil. I'm not gonna get into deep in that. We're gonna stick to what we're talking on right now. So basically, they tried to make Enki look like the bad person, a serpent, a demon, and all that. And Enki actually was the one that awakened the humans, actually awoke the hybrid humans that was down here at this specific time, 5 o'clock as I'm saying this. Basically, when Adam had found out that she had given birth to a child that was not his, he had found out the truth. The apple, he had found out the truth. Them activating their gifts and abilities, Adam tried to start the first, what you would call, revolutionary war against Annunaki. And that's when we had went to the first, that was the very first war on this planet. It was the hybrid humans versus Annunaki. Adam and Eve was kicked out of the plantation. They was the original. They was looked up to like the highest because they was the first ones made. So they had so much respect. We really wanted to kill them, but Enki wouldn't allow that to happen. He wouldn't allow that to happen because he still had feelings for Eve. So he just kicked them out of the plantation. You see what I'm saying? He kicked them out of the plantation and they went on. The war still ended up happening. That's why all these different shards and ancient shit was left behind as time evolved, and the scientists are finding all this different shit going on in ancient Egypt times and shit like that, because the war did occur. The first war was between hybrid humans and Annunaki. Enlil had got the rest of the Annunaki brothers and sisters and the father. The mother didn't come, but the father, to go against Enki, and Enki ended up being left on this planet as they went in their ship after the war and took the fuck off. And Enki was left down here on this fucking planet. And been down on this planet for damn near 10,000 years. Because about 10,000 years ago is when the Annunaki first landed on this planet. Alright, so with this being said, the creation of the soul. Let me take to the creation of the soul. The soul is one. It's one soul. But they were forged into two. The divine masculine and the divine feminine. And like I always say, you are the divine masculine and you are the divine feminine. That's why I say you gotta connect the divine masculine and the divine feminine as one. That's why I always tell you that. The two fishes that they spoke on in the Bible, 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes, that the Messiah had came to give them the knowledge that they said he was giving them actual bread and fish. And it wasn't actual bread and fish, it was knowledge. The Bible is really all about understanding what's really going on your spiritual journey in a human experience. All right, boom. So basically, 2 halves of the soul that make one. Each and every last one of you were forged with another half of your soul. But there's also particles of souls from being created with everything that's around you. So during different lifetimes, you have karmic soulmates. You have karmic twin flames, shadow twins, all that shit right there, because everything that was forged with your soul. But really, just like Adam and Eve, you have literally one half of your soul missing that makes you complete. And once your life cycle, once your last soul cycle is done, you and the other half of your soul will come together and y'all go through ascensions and all these different things down here on the planet. And then in the end, y'all get to leave together. Y'all go home together. You go back where you came from together, back to the source, back to the Most High Soul family. Understand that. It's like, but you gotta be able to be awake and see through all illusions and everything, all this type of shit right here that's going on. You feel me? Because you don't, you'll get caught up in being with the wrong particles of the soul that are attached to your other half of the soul that help you what? Evolve. You see what I'm saying? These karmics and soulmate twin flames and false twin flames, all that is to help you evolve. But really, you want the other half of your soul. Not a twin flame. Not a fucking shadow twin. Not none of that. You actually want to find the other half of your soul, which makes you complete. So, family, before you get out of here. So it's like it gets to the point where back then, you know, the man was looked up to like the king. So back then, the woman opened the door up for the man. Adam. And let's think about a ticket. Adam. All right, boom. Them Adam tickets. When you go somewhere and you gotta get, or you at a fair and you got them little tickets and they say Adam. That's your ticket to get in. You see what I'm saying? It goes first. The man was always first. Time passed over, evolution and growth, and we went from all that to Homo sapiens and shit. And now you got a lot of people that's being awakened because all the work that's being done down here, because of a specific soul and a few specific souls that are helping with ascending this planet consciousness, the tree consciousness, and life and planet in itself. You see what I'm saying? And now a lot of people are beginning to wake up and truly understand who they are, family. And it's like, man, all the work that we are putting in down here, y'all are doing a great job. And just continue to do what you do, family. And don't settle for less. 11:33 on the clock, as I'm saying that. Don't settle for less. Really find the other half of your soul and get the fuck back out this realm. Some of you that are highly intuitive, y'all know where the other half of your soul lays at. You can feel it, you can sense it. I'm talking to those of you that are psyched out. I'll tell you this all the time. I'm talking to those of you that are really psyched out. 11:55 on the timer as I'm saying that. So, family, remember back then also, Adam was the last name. Adamin and Evelyn was the last name. 1212 on the timer as I'm saying that. That was the last name. Then you went by your last name. That's why nowadays in the system and shit like that, they'd be like Mr. Johnson, Mr. What's the name, whatever. You feel me? And that's why X, the letter X, became for unknown. Like Malcolm X. What's the last name? Unknown. You see what I'm saying? Shit like that. It gets to the point where you gotta get deeper into who you are in your soul and really start remembering who you are, to remember why you were here and who you were connected with and everything that go on. Definitely for those of you that's in your last soul cycle, confirmation. Definitely those of you that's in 1300 on the clock as I'm saying that. Definitely those of you that's in your last soul cycle. So, you know, those of you that's in your last soul cycle, yes, you did all the work. 1313 on the clock as I'm saying this, and you will receive everything in this lifetime because this is your last life. So you are the new ascended master. You are, and listen, you are the new ancestor. And your story will carry on for lifetimes. A lot of you, 1333 on the clock as I'm saying this, 333, a lot of you don't even realize that you've been divinely guided through every single last one of your lives. Some of you are in that fucking Bible, literally, are in that Bible and been multiple people in that Bible that they speak on, that they took from, that they added to, but you don't know it. Some of you may feel it and know. You feel me? Some of you may know. But it's about the work that you're putting in behind the scenes to remember who you are, family. And this is how you start tapping in to deeper consciousness. 1414, and as you tap into that deeper consciousness, you start remembering more about who you really are and the life that you've been. And don't be deceived by the ways of the world, mental manipulation and all that, because if you know who you are, 1433 on the timer as I'm saying this, if you know who you are, can't nobody tell you who you're not. Because you know who you are. Definitely those of you that's really in tune for real, like spiritually inclined like a motherfucker. You are tapped into higher dimensions of consciousness. You're in a whole nother frequency and you can't put nobody on your fucking frequency. And remember, Whoever is meant to connect to you, the other half of your soul family, they're gonna always be an energetic match with you. Whenever you ascend, they're gonna ascend with you. They won't be left down here. If they get left down here because they're not meant to be with you. Remember that. And you can't put somebody on your frequency, 1511 on the clock, as I'm saying. You can't put somebody on your frequency that's not meant to be there, 1515 as I'm saying that. So remember that, family. I will be bringing y'all some more I owe you knowledge. So be waiting for it. Now, I don't want y'all to feel like I be gatekeeping. I still got about 4 I owe you knowledges in the cut that I haven't dropped. I want y'all to feel like I'm gatekeeping knowledge. I'm not. I'm just divinely guided to drop it when I'm supposed to drop it, 1540 on the clock as I'm saying that. I drop it when I'm supposed to drop it. Because that comes back to 11. You feel me? Whenever it's time for that door, whenever that door is open for me, 11, for me to give you the knowledge, I will give it to you. Other than that, y'all know what y'all supposed to know and need to know as of right now. Those of you that's tapped in and open and receptive to receive the knowledge, getting these downloads, getting these uploads, getting these inloads. 1616 on the time I was saying that. So continue to scribe, continue to thrive, and continue to stand on business. Watch Smiling Soul family. It only gets better from there. But again, make sure you don't settle for less. 1640 on the time as I'm saying that. A lot of y'all have called back y'all soul stars, called back y'all energy, called back y'all power and everything. And you are claiming something that has been taken from you for lifetimes, for some of you. For some of you, it may have been a few lifetimes. And you've been settling for less in the last few lives. But you remember who you are, family. 177 on the timer as I'm saying that. And I just want to say congratulations to each and every last one of you powerful as earth angels. 7017 on the clock as I'm saying that. With the B confirmation flying through. A sweet results way so you so, family.